Richard Branson says a business has to be evolving, it has to be fun, and it has to exercise your creative interests. It's time to make your vote for small business and join us on It's My Biz, where we meet the creative minds behind South Africa's great small businesses. She knows exactly where she wants to take her business. And tonight on It's My Biz, she gets to meet three thought leaders who've already walked the path before her. They are the co-founder and MD of a gastronomically successful e-commerce business, an investment banker who's also a couture winemaker and a sought-after trend analyst. Tonight's business owner is Eugenie Drakes. I popped in to see her at her stunning store in Rosebank, Johannesburg.
Craft carries our culture and tradition, and we're finding that traditional techniques and knowledge of the traditional items is actually dying away, and I would love to see that preserved, because that is actually what differentiates us and makes us who we are as South Africans.
So what did life look like before peace?
It was very interesting. I was involved for a while in the performing arts. I worked with a free flight dance company and also with some international companies. And I guess by default, I got involved in craft about 15 years ago.
Tell me a little more about the business itself.
I was working for a not-for-profit organization. I couldn't see how that would result in sustainable business. So I left the not-for-profit, and I was then asked if I would do a Christmas store for 3 months. So I said yes, absolutely, cleared money out of my bond, drove down to KwaZulu-Natal, bought a whole lot of stuff, and 3 weeks later I was open and in business. At the end of 3 months, I'd done part of a cycle, and I wanted to see how that went. And my journey from there has just progressed.
Why craft? Why jewelry? I mean, there's something special about this space.
It's a meeting place of two realities that are worlds apart. We work with many, many rural producers and bring the products into the store, and we then expose those pieces to the greater public. Although we buy the stock that we have in the store, we do not own the creativity. So everybody whose hand has created something has a piece of peace. And people come in and they buy a piece of peace. So we spread peace throughout the world.
So tell me about this basket. Where's it from?
Andile, that basket is from a group of master weavers in Swaziland. It's an interesting country because it's tiny, so there's a lot of collaboration amongst the craft community. But working at that level is daunting because some of the projects work with over 800 women, and in the country and rural life, things take a lot longer than they do for us in the city. So production capacity is limited.
How does that affect how you do business?
I'm always very aware going into a rural community like that, what are the customs required in that community? So I would wear a familiar traditional necklace or bracelet to show them that I'm showing respect. It's a very patriarchal society, and sometimes the men become resistant when the women start feeling their power and start earning money. The husbands try and block them, and in fact what we did is we went to speak to the chief, and he then issued a decree, so we were free to work with the women.
Isolate for me the one thing you love the most about running this business.
The thing that I love most is watching a producer progress from really struggling to becoming aware of the value and worth of the talent of their hands. We've worked with some really extraordinary people. We've actually set up a shop for Bill Clinton. We had the Greek Prime Minister come in, and I think one of the reasons why they enjoy coming here is because they are treated like people.
So tell me about the challenges you're facing in your business.
I have something very special and something unique, and I need to be more strategic about moving the business forward and growing it.
What stands out for you in terms of what you've learned?
What I think differentiates us from many is that we look for traditional inspiration, but contemporary in expression. So it carries culture and tradition, but it speaks the language of today. And there's always a story behind what we do. So we've got to be ahead of the game. We've got to innovate all the time.
Tell me what you're hoping to learn from our thought leaders.
I would love to roll out more stores, and particularly up through Africa, because I think Africa is a market which is very underexplored and underrated. I love what I do, and I think the passion is infectious. And for me, it's about telling the stories of the people that we work with. And stories are such an African tradition.
Here she is, tonight's small business trailblazer, Eugenie Drakes. And now, time to meet tonight's thought leaders, the people behind some of South Africa's greatest brands and businesses.
Hi, my name is Dion Chang. I'm the owner and founder of Flux Trends. It's a trends analysis company that tracks global macro trends that affects shifting social dynamics and therefore how businesses are run. We specialize in understanding consumer mindset.
I'm Andrew Smith from yuppychef.com. We started an online store from my garage in 2006 and now employ 60 people that believe passionately about online, e-commerce and kitchen tools.
I'm David Bate, CEO of Brookwood Capital and founder of Leopard Frog Vineyards and the United Nations of Wine.
When we come back, Eugenie has 1 minute to present her business case to the thought leaders. She'll answer their questions and get some of their valuable insights. See you in just a moment.
Nedbank Pocket Pos. Now you can accept card payments securely via your smartphone or tablet. Nedbank Pocket Pos. Now you can accept card payments securely via your smartphone or tablet.
My name is Eugenie Drakes. My business is called Peace. We work in two different realities that are worlds apart. I work with many rural communities that make beautiful handmade items, which we sell through our retail store in Johannesburg.
I must say your passion for the business is just amazing. I like your passion, I like your products, I like your purpose-driven profit model. I liked it so much, in fact, that I recently visited your store. I'll talk to you initially as a customer. On the good side, your store is laid out immaculately. It clearly communicates your attention to detail, the uniqueness of your products, and your purpose-driven profit model. What I think it could do a little bit better is communicate the depth of your relationship with your suppliers to your customers. On the bad side, I probably spent about 20 minutes in your store browsing before anybody approached me and asked to help me. One of the things you can do is to focus on that customer experience. The bookkeeping, the redesigning, the marketing, that can be done when the doors are closed. But when the doors open, from the time they open to the time they close, you've got to focus on those customers.
Thank you, that's very valuable feedback.
And on the ugly side, when I went to pay for my purchases, I handed over the cash to your clerk, who rang it through the till, but then couldn't figure out what change to give back to me. I had to tell her how much money to put back in my pocket. And I think that's on you in terms of training your staff and making sure they have the skills to do their job well and complete that customer experience and have me leaving the store a truly satisfied customer.
Eugenie, what I love about Peace is that I think you're on a really, really good trend trajectory. If you look at where luxury is going, the concept of anything that is touched by human hand is going to become increasingly valuable. And I think this is where there's possibly a fork in the road for you at your business juncture at the moment. The one side is to make those one-off pieces, which is your luxury pieces. On the other hand, you've got a fast fashion world happening out there, which I don't think you're tapping into that market. Because if you look at those very commercial trends and reinterpret them in a craft way, it'll take your product to a different level. And I think there's room for a sub-brand. And I think that's a split that you haven't explored yet. And I think that's a worthwhile thing to do.
Eugenie, I'm from Cape Town, and if I had come across your products in a magazine or because David had told me of a dinner party about how wonderful they were, it'd be very difficult for me to purchase from you. And what you want to explore now is how do you reach the rest of the country and how do you reach the rest of the world? And I think you've probably got three options ahead of you. The one is to open more stores. The second option would be to create some sort of distribution model or pop-up store where you could have other retailers selling your products. And the third option, which obviously I'm the most passionate about, is you could start selling online. online. And the first thing you can do is to tell the story about your brand, about where the products come from, about what you've produced and who's been wearing them. And I think online is great for that because you can tell the story once and it carries on forever. And so to really spend time on capturing your story, which is in words, in pictures, in video, and to make that available on your website. And through that, if I hear from David about your jewelry, the first thing I'm going to do from far away is to try and find you online.
Andrew, when I hear that, I kind of am filled with mixed emotions because I'm of a different generation to this generation.
If I can just jump in here, I think the one thing that would maybe allay your fears of embracing that technology, the one social media platform that I'm putting my money on is visual marketing. I'm not talking Twitter, but I'm talking Instagram. What's very, very interesting for me is we're not only moving into a hypervisual era, so you're seeing the volume of pictures that are being shared, but the next step that we're slowly moving into, and we're really only on the cusp of it, so you can get in there quite easily and mix with what Andrew is saying, is the imagery is moving to moving images. For example, Instagram have come up with their own video messaging, and that's a 15-second clip. What's very, very significant for me is that is halfway to a 30-second traditional commercial. It's going to change the nature of how people market things. So you can market a piece of jewelry as well as have a little video clip to tell that story and bring that story visually back into it. And it's a very, very effective way of marketing, and it's a visual way of marketing which you'll enjoy.
Beyond the online presence, I think you have a great business, and I think you've got a great chance to grow it. First, I would think you could open other high-end retail boutiques. I think you've got a great chance to open micro boutiques by partnering with game lodge operators to take over the little boutique in each game lodge, provide the sundries that some of their customers want, but otherwise redesign it and make it your own. I actually also think you do very well to have pop-up workshops where you bring the women from the rural communities into the urban centers and have a setting in the shopping malls and whatnot where they create their crafts before the eyes of your potential customers.
That's something that would be easy to implement and I think very valuable.
But, you know, Eugenie, you're in a very unique space. You have clients who are kings and queens and princesses and presidents and prime ministers. Use that star power to your advantage, particularly in the online environment that Andrew and Dion are recommending for you, because that is the best publicity and the best endorsement that you can ever get. And because of your purpose-driven profit model, I think a lot of those celebrity clients will be very happy to lend their name to such a worthy cause.
I think I completely agree with David, is that collaboration is the essential A for 21st century business. But if you're going to expand, especially online, it's going to be that customer who wants the quick, fast fashion kind of looks. And there's several portals there that you could pair with and be a supplier, and an unusual supplier, because your product is very, very unique, and it has that story behind it, and we're in an era of storytelling, and that story is really key. So leverage the story, not only of the production, but your high-profile clients. I think you've been a bit too reticent to do that, and exploring those collaborations, which will allow you to give a much wider reach.
So that's something, again, you can look at. And maybe we can talk about cash now, because really, at the end of the day, you need money to expand and grow your business. And I think, you know, Eugenie, you're a poster businesswoman for the empowerment of women and small business. The government and development agencies and NGOs are going to throw money at you. They're going to love you because you're creating jobs, you're transferring skills, and you're making a meaningful difference to the lives of hundreds, if not thousands, of people in rural communities, particularly women. So I think they can really help you on the supply side of your business. On the sales side of your business, you've got a much tougher sell. You probably need a financial investor. And to do that, you're going to have to give up something to get something. But based on the conversations we've had, I think a financial partner might be very good for you, because it'll bring that fiscal discipline that I think you need and help you plan for expansion and succession and training and taking your business to the next level.
For me, the thought of having somebody with financial expertise work with me really excites me, because it's an area that I know that I'm not strong in.
Now, you've got a great business, but for you to do it alone is business suicide.
Eugenie, You've said that you want help with strategy and defining strategy, and I think we've got to take a step back and say, first of all, what is strategy? To me, strategy is about making the decisions in your business and the choices. And this really is the one thing that only you can do. The one thing that you've got to look at in each week and each month is say, how much time am I spending actually making the decisions, and how much time am I getting distracted in the running of the business? So you have a lot of decisions to make now. You've got to decide about will you open other stores, and how will you raise money, and that is strategy. And I think that is something which you don't have to go somewhere else to get. No one else can come into your business and give you a strategy. You are already perfectly equipped to define the strategy of your business because it's your business, and only you can decide what direction it's going to take. And the other thing that only you can do, as we've mentioned, is tell the story. So as you continue to define that and evolve that, it will help you in your decision making and your strategy making, because the more you tell your own story, even to yourself, the more you'll become clear about the decisions that need to be made.
Once you've defined the strategy, find those partners who can complement you to implement and realize your strategy. Because I think you're this larger-than-life woman in a rowboat all by yourself, and you need to find some crew to help you on the journey and to pass on the baton, because you're doing such wonderful stuff. And you need to become the face of the company, the strategic CEO of your business, and find those trusted partners, be it staff or investors, to help you realize your journey.
Some candid feedback, but also some great ideas for Eugenie to work with, like creating a new sub-brand, using Instagram video messaging, setting up micro boutiques at game lodges, and many other inspiring ideas. We'll see what top tips the thought leaders have for Eugenie when we come back.
Nedbank Pocket POS. Now you can accept card payments securely via your smartphone or tablet. Nedbank Pocket POS. Now you can accept card payments securely via your smartphone or tablet. Read about this business in the Business Report this Friday.
Loads of great advice today. Andrew recommended you spend time writing the peace story in order to help you in your decision and strategy making. Then Dion suggested you look at creating a fast fashion sub-brand for peace. And David said it's time to look at all 5 key sources of funding so you can take your business to the next level. Lots to think about.
Amazing advice from 3 extraordinary individuals, and I really loved their honesty. And I mean, there's been a lot of input and a lot of substance, and I now need to go and digest before I move forward.
Well, Eugenie, it's time now for those important top tips from our thought leaders. Here we go.
I think one of the most important things that I've taken out of the conversation we've had with Eugenie is the visual marketing and the telling of the story. It is such a crucial story to tell at this stage of a digital world. And I think the technologies that are available are things that are going to be so easy to do. And I think, Eugenie, you've had a bit of a barrier about technology, but I think once you explore this, you'll find that these technologies are really, really, really easy, and they can push your story out very, very easily, very, very simply, without too much effort. And I think you're going to embrace the technology and the storytelling, which is so critical to peace.
Eugenie, online feels big and scary and intimidating, but it's the route that I back. You have a couple of options ahead of you in terms of how do you take what you're doing to the rest of the country and the rest of the world. And the rules are not the same as they were in the last century. You don't have to have your own stores. You don't have to spend a lot of capital, but you do need to step into the new 21st century way of reaching people, of interacting with customers, of telling your story, and of retailing, which these days can be done online. And without a whole shopping cart and a checkout and a credit card, but just saying, how do I reach new customers through the medium of the internet, through their phones, through the videos that they watch, and how do I grow my brand in that way?
First, fix your customer experience. Your store presentation is so good, you just have to step up your delivery of owning that customer experience and making people satisfied when they leave your shop. Second, you're going to need a partner if you want to grow your business. For you to do it alone is business suicide. Find someone with distribution who can move your product and who may be able to bring some money to the table. Third, fix your online presence. Right now, it's all sex appeal and no substance. You have such a great story to tell. You just need to communicate the authenticity and the depth of your connection with your suppliers to your customers. And one way you can do that is by leveraging the star power you've got with your brand. And finally, I think you need an investor. Cash is king, and if you're going to grow into boutiques micro boutiques, pop-up workshops, or expand internationally, you're going to need a partner who can help carry some of those costs and who can help give you the financial discipline you need to take your business to the next generation. I hope you never lose your passion and your love for what you're doing. Good luck. I'm behind you 100%.
Eugenie, some great tips and advice from the thought leaders. Are you starting to piece together a plan?
I'm doing my best. I must admit, I've always been a bit of a technophobe. I come from the age of manual typewriters, and now I'm able to use a phone, and I'm less daunted than what I was before by the new social media, and I think it's a new platform which will be really, really interesting to explore. I think also David's advice for me was really interesting just in terms of exploring different avenues for funding, because running the business is one thing, but actually the development and training and working with the people that we work with is very time consuming, and it would be great if I could get assistance with that to help cover some of those costs. And at the moment, I'm really inspired and I'm excited, but I do believe that I need to take a little bit of time to think about what has been said. But I know that this, for me, has been an extraordinary journey, a wonderful opportunity, and I watch this space with interest.
Well, I'm pleased to say we feel exactly the same way. All the best with it.
Thank you, and thanks again to Nedbank for the opportunity.
To see the thought leaders' top tips again, join Nedbank's small business community at simplybiz.co.za. You can also access fantastic offers, useful tools, lots of free advice and networking opportunities. Thank you for joining us tonight on Nedbank's big show for small business. Of course, It's My Biz is just one of the ways that Nedbank makes its vote for small business. Here's another.
The lifeblood of any business is sales. And as a small business owner, one thing is key. You want to make it easier for customers to pay you, wherever you are. That's why Nedbank brings you Pocket Pos. It's the first solution on sale in South Africa that enables you to accept card payments via your smartphone or tablet. Here's how it works.
The app is loaded onto your phone, and then it connects to the Pocket Pos device via Bluetooth. The merchant then enters the invoice amount into the app, captures the email address in order to receive the receipt. The customer puts his card into the Pocket Pos and enters his PIN to complete the transaction.
It's convenient, secure, and instant. It's the kind of solution you'd expect from a partner that votes small business. Take your business to the next level with Nedbank Pocket Pos by visiting simplybiz.co.za today. Nedbank is proud to vote small business. Make things happen. Nedbank.
A lot of businesses have issues around cash flow and financial management.
Once you initiate something, they have to pay something.
When you say you have time management problems, it actually means you have prioritization problems.
Have a look at which of those areas need a bit of attention.
This is not rocket science.
You're not going to be able to progress your business without having that money in the bank.
Do not ever take your eye off the core business.
I like that idea. It's different, thinking outside the box.
And there's defining the product in a way that you know people will buy.